What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Pretty quick video here. I'm going to take a look at the Steam Deck and the Legion Go, which will pretty much cover Z1 Extremes for Dragon Quest III, the HD-2D remake that we've got here. So we're going to start off with the Steam Deck, and really there's not a lot to show with this game, so it'll be pretty quick, and I'll just talk about performance we see in different areas. But as far as settings go, windowed, borderless, full screen doesn't matter. You're not going to get 1610 or 800p or 1200p or anything like that. You get 720, you can get up to 1080, and you could go 1440 on other systems, but it's pretty limited. And then you got this low, medium, high, and we're just going to have things on high because, again, the game is really easy to run here on the deck and on other systems. So we'll just go around and take a look at 3 spots, walking around a couple of the first cities, a little bit out on the map, and some battles. And again, performance, there's not a lot to talk about here. We're talking 60 FPS solid no matter where you're at least in the first couple of cities I've been in and maps. So we're not using up the resources as much here. And there's only been a few times we're up in the 90s on the GPU here. So 1080p wouldn't really work if you were docked, but 720p or 800p on your deck is going to be fine. And as we get out into some of the other areas, again, walking around the maps and stuff, 60 FPS, you will get the occasional stutter or drop like 1 FPS and recover from time to time. I've seen this happen a bit on all of the handheld devices, and I think it more comes down to driver and game related stuff. I know there's some performance issues on the Switch, and I've heard of some performance issues on the PC, even though this is easy to run and capped at 60. Sometimes in combat, which you'll see when we get to the Legion Go, there might be some of those skips. You saw one here with the deck. Nothing that's a big deal, especially with this kind of game, and probably a patch is going to straighten that out. And I only wanted to go so deep with covering this game because normally I'll cover performance and talk about more settings and maybe different ways to do the settings to play the game or something like that. I don't typically review the games themselves, so there wasn't a lot for me to get into here. It's Dragon Quest III. It's a remake if you're familiar with the series or the franchise. If this is something you've been waiting to play, it does run great on the Steam Deck and on other handhelds, but there's not a lot to show when it comes to settings. If you're docked, you'll probably be playing 720p, and if you're playing on your Steam Deck, you'll probably have things set to 800p, even though it's still only going to be running 720p with bars on the top and bottom. So that's pretty much what you've got for Dragon Quest III HD-2D remake here on the Steam Deck. Now let's go over and just take a look at the Legion Go real quick so you can see some Z1 Extreme performance there for those handhelds, and we'll take a look at that. And as far as the performance here, it's the same thing for the settings. You've got an option here when I'm docked this way or capturing of 720p or 1080p. If I were to take and set things higher, we could get higher, but we would have to up things on our wattage. But it'll just be high, full screen, 1080p running here, even though I do have my device set to 1200p and my capture card to 1200p and all of that. So same thing as the deck with the bars top and bottom there for that. And I'm just running the 20 watt performance mode on the Legion Go right now because most of the time it's hitting between 15 and 20 depending on where I'm at. It just kind of regulates itself, so I didn't really need to go above and beyond that. Any skips, stutters, or issues you might see while traversing around or getting into battle, similar to the deck, it just seems to be more something related to the game, maybe drivers or things like that on devices as well, but I do believe the game will need a patch for just little things like that that seem to happen. Again, I've heard issues on the Switch and on the PC when it comes to performance, but other than that, pretty rock solid 60 FPS minus those few hiccups here and there, not really using all of the power resources of the device, and a really easy to run game here. Now, I'm not super familiar with this series. I haven't really played the Dragon Quest games that much. I'll probably get into this one a good bit and just see how it goes. But as far as just recording the performance, honestly, getting into it, watching the battles and stuff, if you're not the one playing, is pretty much like watching paint dry. So didn't really want to go too far with the video and how long I wanted to make it. Just wanted to show you guys how it was running on the Steam Deck. Great there. How it's running on the Legion Go. It should basically cover Z1s and Z1 Extremes, which is going to be fine there as well. Nobody's going to have a problem running Dragon Quest, the remake here, on any of these devices. I didn't bother recording, but I did fire the game up on my original white Ally, the Z1 Extreme, there to see how it was performing, and it was basically the same performance I'm getting here. 15 to 20 watts it was pulling and giving me 60 FPS with the occasional stutter. Same thing on my Ally X, exact same performance at the same wattage with the occasional stutter. So I just didn't bother getting into having to show any more of those here. But yeah, the game's art style looks great, and I think I'm probably going to enjoy playing through it myself, but again, there's just not a lot to show. Runs great, enjoyed on the handhelds, pick it up if it's something that you've been waiting to play. Alright guys, thanks a lot for coming and check out the video as always. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in the next one.